Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Surya Raut and today we are going to discuss on the ISAT test series 1 the questions which were asked. Okay, we will discuss on the answers for those questions. Okay, so let us look at the first question. The first question is a very simple one which talks about chromosomes are made up of DNA, the choices which are given DNA, protein, DNA and protein, and only RNA. Okay. Before answering this question, we need to know the composition of the chromosomes. Okay. As you know that chromosomes are the structures which are present essentially in the nucleus of a cell. So, suppose if this is the nucleus, here the chromosomes are going to be concentrated. Okay. And if this is the structure of a chromosome, and if you very closely analyze what is the composition of the chromosome, essentially it is composed or made up of DNA, which is regarded as the hereditary material, and that is why chromosomes also called as the hereditary material. Okay, because they transmit the characters from the parents to that of the offspring. But if they are made up of DNA, and we know that DNA which is called as deoxyribonucleic acid, okay, that means it is acid, and it's acid, okay, because it has a phosphoric acid group, okay, or phosphate group. Okay, so it is negatively charged. As DNA is negatively charged, and we know that in, for example, in a human being, each cell consists of a large number of chromosomes, okay, 23 pairs of chromosomes, and if we open up all the DNA which is present in those chromosomes, the entire length of the chromosomes is going to be 2.2 meters. It is such a large size of DNA. And we know that typically the nucleus is from say 1 to 2 micron in diameter, okay, or 1 to 5 micron in diameter. So, such a tiny space will not be capable of fitting such a large chunk of DNA. So, what the DNA therefore needs to do? It needs to be packed efficiently. It needs to be wrapped up so that it has to become a shorter segment. Just look at the example here. Okay. So, this is, for example, what is this? This is a ball of wool. Okay. And if we open up all the threads, the entire length is going to be humongous. But if we wrap up, this can fit into a small size. Okay. The same thing is actually happening inside the cell. The DNA is getting packaged, but the packaging of DNA requires the help of a protein. As DNA is, I told you in the beginning, DNA is negatively charged. So, it requires a protein which should be positively charged. And what is that protein? That protein is called as the histone protein. And the histone protein contains a large amount of positively charged amino acids, lysine and arginine. So, as they contain a large amount of positively charged amino acid, so the overall charge on that protein is positively charged, and that positively charged histone proteins helps to facilitate the wrapping of DNA, and therefore, the structure of the DNA becomes smaller, and finally, they assume the structure of a chromosome. Okay. So, therefore, part of DNA means the chromosome consists of both DNA and the proteins which together makes their structure. Okay. So, let us look at the options that we have. Okay. So, the options that we have are DNA is the only choice that we have here, okay, or protein, and DNA or protein. So, therefore, the answer is going to be this option C. Okay. So, let us go to the next question. Which of the following is covered by a single membrane. Okay. The choices which are given here: mitochondria, nucleus, lysosome and plastid. Okay. As we know that mitochondria, nucleus and plastid, okay, all of them are covered by a two-layered membrane, both outer membrane as well as inner membrane. So, this one will be ruled out. This one is also going to be ruled out because it has also two membrane. Plastids, chloroplasts also has two membranes, okay. So, therefore, the only organelle which has a single, the organelle which is here has a single membrane is lysosome. Okay. So, the answer is going to be lysosome. So, let us look at the next question. In plant cell, nucleus is, where is the nucleus present? Located at the center, located in one corner of the cell, not surrounded by nuclear membrane, does not contain histone protein. Okay. So, let us look at the questions options very carefully. Okay. We know, if you look at the structure here, the animal cell and the plant cell, you typically see there is a big difference between these two cells. Okay. If you look at the structure of the vacuole or the size of the vacuole, the plant cells has a large vacuole as compared to the animal cells, because plant cell needs to store a large amount of cell sap, okay, and reserve food material. So, that is why the vacuole size is large. As the vacuole size is large, what happens? The nucleus is pushed to one corner of the cell because the vacuole assumes or occupies a larger portion of the cell. Sometimes the vacuole can occupy up to 90% of the space of the cell. So, such a large vacuole is present in the plant cell. But in case of the animal cell, the vacuoles are relatively small in size. So, therefore, the nucleus is mostly present around the center of the cell. If we look at the options here, located at the center, no, it is not correct, because they would be present in one side of the cell or one corner of the cell. Located in one corner of the cell, this could be a correct option. Let us look at the other choices. Not surrounded by nuclear membrane. Plant cell, the nucleus is surrounded by a nuclear membrane. Only in prokaryotic cells, the nucleus is not surrounded by a nuclear membrane. What are prokaryotic cells? The bacterial cells. Okay. So, in bacterial cells, the nucleus is not surrounded by a nuclear membrane. So, this option is also not correct. Does not contain histone protein. It contains histone protein to wrap up the DNA, as we just talked about in the first question. Only in case of prokaryotes, again in bacteria, the protein which is used to wrap up the DNA is a non-histone protein. But other eukaryotic cells, they contain histone protein to wrap up their DNA. So, plant cells also contain histone protein. So, this option is also incorrect. Okay. So, the option which is therefore going to be correct is option B. Okay. Let us go to the next question. Meristematic tissues. Okay. The choices that are given here: lost the power of division, have the power to divide, have no defined nucleus, and have cells without cytoplasm. As we know that plants broadly contains two types of cells. What are those? Meristematic cell and permanent cells. Or permanent meristematic tissues or permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues are the tissues which has the power to divide and redivide. Okay. Whereas permanent tissues are the tissues which have lost their power of division. One of the simple characteristic of meristematic tissues is that because as they have a power to divide, because they carry out the process of cell division, and cell division requires a lot of energy. As it requires a lot of energy, so the enzymatic activity therefore in the cell is very high. And how can enzymes will be produced? Enzymes will be produced by the RNA, which will be synthesized in the nucleus, and the proteins which is getting synthesized in the cytoplasm, okay, because RNA is first DNA makes the RNA and then RNA makes the protein. So both nucleus and cytoplasm are highly active during the process of cell division. So one of the characteristic feature of the meristematic tissues or meristematic cells therefore are that they have a large nucleus and abundant cytoplasm. That means they will have a large amount of cytoplasm and the nucleus is going to be also larger. So the options therefore here given here have no defined nucleus does not hold true, because meristematic tissues have a large nucleus. So this option is also cancelled out. Okay. Have cells without cytoplasm, this is also cancelled out because they have a large amount of cytoplasm. Lost the power of division, we said that the tissues have been classified into two different types basis their power of division. The one which lost their power of division are called as permanent tissues, and which have the power to divide are called as meristematic tissues. So this is also incorrect. So the only choice therefore this one is the correct answer. So let's look at the next question. Okay. Transport in xylem. Okay. So transport in xylem, as we know that plant consist of two different kind of conductive tissues. What are those? Xylem and phloem. Okay. Xylem usually helps in the conduction of water and mineral. And phloem helps in the conduction of food, especially in the form of sucrose. Okay. So these are the two conducting systems present in the plant. Okay. The xylem is present from the root from to the surface of the plant, which is the leaf. Okay. And the water is being carried out from the soil surface, okay, which is present in the where the root is in contact with, till the leaf where the water is required for the process of photosynthesis and also for transpiration. Okay. So therefore the water has to move only in one direction, because the amount of water, okay, or water potential is higher in the surface of the root and very low in the leaf surface. Therefore water always moves from one direction, from its higher potential which is present at the soil surface to that of the leaf surface. Okay. But the food material actually can be transported in both directions. It can also go to upward as well as downward, okay, depending where the food material is required. But the question here is asked that, okay, transport in xylem, because xylem conducts water and water transport is always unidirectional, because the water potential is higher in the soil surface, okay, in the soil, and it is lower in the leaf surface, and water always moves from its higher potential to lower potential. So therefore transport is going to be unidirectional through xylem vessels. Okay. So let's look at the next question. Plant cells lack. Okay. So there are certain organelles which are given as choices. The organelles which are given as centrosome, vacuole, ribosome, endoplasmic reticulum. We have already discussed about vacuole, that plant cell contains a large amount, large vacuole, because they want to store a large amount of reserve food material and cell sap. Okay. So, vacuole is therefore a key organelle present in the plant cell. Okay. So, then this option is going to be ruled out. Okay. Ribosome. So, ribosome are the protein factories, because they produce proteins. So, therefore, plants also require a large amount of protein and enzymatic activity, because all enzymes are proteins, right. So, ribosomes are also required. So, these are also present. Okay. So, ribosomes cannot be absent in plant cell. Endoplasmic reticulum, these are the network like structures, okay, reticular structures which are present all the way from the surface of the nucleus to the plasma membrane, and ribosomes are present on the surface of the endoplasmic reticulum, so that they can facilitate in the synthesis of protein and also in the processing of the protein. So, therefore, ribosomes as endoplasmic reticulum is also present in plant cells. So, this option is also wrong. What they lack is actually centrosome. What are centrosomes? Okay, as we know that centrosomes consist of a pair of centrioles, okay, like this. Okay. So, this is one centrosome, okay, which consists two centrioles, okay, which are present right angle to each other, okay, and they are covered by a fluid matrix, okay, and that is called as pericentriolar matrix. Simply called as PCM. So, therefore, one centrosome consists of two centrioles plus the PCM, pericentriolar matrix. These centrioles helps in the formation of spindle fiber, and spindle fibers are the essential structures that helps in the cell division, because they pull the chromosomes during the process of cell division towards the opposite poles. Okay. But that means, if the structures will not be present in the plant cell, how are they going to divide during the process of cell division? Because they produce spindle fiber. Spindle fibers are produced by the plants, but there is a different structure altogether, okay, present in the plant, okay, which helps in the formation of the spindle fiber, not the centrioles. Okay. So, therefore, centrioles and centrosomes or the centrosomes, okay, which are going to be absent in the plant cell. So, this option is the correct choice. Okay. So, this, okay, let us go to the next question. Okay. In E. coli, DNA is present. Okay. Where is the DNA present? Inside the nucleus, in the cytoplasm, in nucleus and mitochondria, in nucleus, mitochondria and chloroplast. Okay. We all know that, okay, DNA is present in three different organelles of the cell. What are those? One is nucleus. They are also present in chloroplast. They are also present in mitochondria. But these are specific to eukaryotic cell. Okay. But bacteria, this is E. coli. E. coli is a bacteria, okay, and this is a prokaryotic cell. So, this is a prokaryote. What is the meaning of prokaryote? Pro means primitive, purana. Karyote means carrion, okay, or the nucleus. So, that means these organisms have a primitive form of nucleus. What does it mean? It means that here the nuclear material, which is the DNA or the chromosomes, okay, are not covered by a defined nuclear membrane. Okay. So, they do not have a defined nucleus. Why? Because nuclear membrane is not present, and the nuclear material is therefore suspended or present in the cytoplasm. Okay. So, let us look at the choices, because I have already given you a brief background about what are prokaryotes and where their genetic material is present or DNA is present. Options given inside nucleus. Okay. So, as I said that they do not have a defined nucleus, okay, and in prokaryotes it is not called as nucleus because there is no nuclear membrane, okay, and therefore, wherever the nuclear material is concentrated, that region is called as nucleoid. Okay, nucleoid. So, that is not a true nucleus. Okay. So, that means if it's option that is given inside nucleus, that would be an incorrect option. In the cytoplasm, yes, as I said you in the beginning, in the prokaryotes, the genetic material is suspended in the cytoplasm. If you will look at the picture here, which is the picture of a prokaryotic cell, as you can see here, the genetic material is suspended in the cytoplasm and it is not covered by any membrane, and therefore, that option which was given, that it is present in the cytoplasm, is going to be the correct option. It is present in the nucleus and mitochondria. Prokaryotes, there is another feature of the prokaryotes is that in addition to not having a defined nucleus, they do not have all membrane bound organelles. Membrane bound organelles include endoplasmic reticulum, lysosomes, then Golgi bodies, mitochondria, chloroplast. So, they do not have all these membrane bound organelles. So, definitely they are not going to have nucleus and mitochondria. Okay. So, as they do not have this, so this option is also incorrect. So, this is incorrect, and nucleus, mitochondria and chloroplast we have already discussed, this is also incorrect, and this is incorrect we have discussed in the beginning, and so therefore, this is going to be the correct option. Okay. So, this ends the discussion for this practice session. Okay. Thank you very much.